الله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Sheikhul and friends. To attract the blessings for the Almighty, we shall begin tonight's session with the recitation of a verse from the Al-Quran. It is from Surah At-Talaq, verse 2 and 3. It is mentioned that whoever recite this verse, the doors of sustenance will be opened and the person will receive the bounty from the Almighty from ways that he does not expect. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن يتق الله يجعل له ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث من يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا صدق الله العظيم. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our program tonight. I'm Syakul Wasiah Amibari Ehsani, and with me, Mr. Jerison Dos Abraham of Viva Starfish. And tonight, we'll be joined later by Anja Julia from Athena. Welcome to the session today, Jerison.
Hey Amir, hi, how are you? And yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm having you the way that I'm used to. Cheerful, star-like, and you're a superstar, Jerry. Jerry, you're a superstar. That's how I like to have you. Okay, Jerry, let's start the program tonight. Let's start the program tonight. Our program tonight is all about social enterprise, business with purpose and passion. And Jerry, can you please tell us tonight what do you do in 60 seconds?
Wow, 60 seconds. Okay, hi. So everyone, my name is Jerison Abraham Doss, and we run a social enterprise. It's called Viva Starfish. And Viva Starfish, basically what we do is we're a business with a social agenda at heart, and it's on an ongoing basis. So it is very different from CSR, which is your corporate social responsibilities, because on our side, what's happening is whenever we do business, we are incorporating a social agenda which is an ongoing daily basis. So the first thing is we educate underprivileged children. We provide support in education for refugee communities, especially when it comes to education. We also help at-risk youth with activities, and we look into helping them develop their skills further. However, that is the proactive measure. A reactive measure would be we provide livelihood and also job opportunities for the homeless, the ex-addicts, and the graduates from rehab center. Thursdays, we feed the homeless, but I'm not a big fan of feeding. We also believe that feeding might create a dependency, so we take a step further by providing them jobs so that they can look into their livelihood activities.
Wow,
So that's a quick
fantastic.
thing about Viva Starfish, yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Now, Jerry, now I'm going to depart from the norm and the tradition tonight. If your
Yeah.
enterprise, your business can be summed up in a song, what song would it be, Jerry?
Wow, someone in a song, "We Are the World." That's the only thing that's coming to
Hey,
coming to my mind.
Jerry, we are both July babies, and there comes a
Oh yeah, yeah.
time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. Do you know the song, Jerry?
We are the world. Yeah, yeah. I know
No,
the
no,
song.
no.
Unfortunately, I can't sing it. So
You
yeah,
can
I
sing
know the
it.
song. And
Jerry, you cannot sing. You're the superstar. Okay, bye. So we are the world tonight, yeah? Okay, and now it's my turn to introduce myself. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amir Bahari. I'm a Sharia lawyer. And what I do is I specialize in the area of love. On weekends, I help my clients to fall in love. Why? Because I'm a trainer at a pre-marriage course. How do I know that they are in love? Very easy. Jelly necks and jelly knees, and they happen to sing a song. It goes something like, wise men say only fools rush in, and I can't help falling in love with you. On Monday to Friday, my job changed. I help clients who fall in love trap and who falls out of love to settle the differences by legal means. I help my clients to divorce and still be friends on Facebook. I help them to file the documents in court, to do a settlement, to make sure that the guardianship of the children is being settled, and who spends time with the children during school holidays. And basically, those who are going through a love breakdown, okay, which I help on Monday to Friday, they will sing a song, something like, shot through the heart, and you're to blame, darling, you give love a bad name. I played my part, and you played your game. You give love a bad name. When I have my free time between Saturday to Friday, my job change. I help my clients to do their love letters, which come in the form of trust, wills, and estate administration. So basically, those they want to make sure that when they pass on in life, um, when they all their beneficiaries are well taken care of, legally speaking, and they leave no stones unturned. And they usually will sing a song. It goes something like, country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. So Jerry, for tonight's program, Jerry, can you let's go dive in, yeah? Let's dive in straight into the program tonight. Now, Jerry, to you, what is social enterprise, and what's the difference between social enterprise and CSR, which I believe is corporate social responsibility? Fire away, Jerry.
okay, yeah. So social enterprise is by definition there's various levels of social enterprise. There are some companies that instead of just for an example just hiring a normal crowd, they give an opportunity to someone who is a bit special, who's on a wheelchair, and yet that he's part and parcel of the operations. So they do call themselves a social enterprise. But on a heavier side of what a social enterprise is it is a business. It's a business that has to generate profit, and the profits, more than 50% is channeled towards social work. And when we say social work,
50%,
it is not, yeah, and it's not a
50%.
buy and, yeah, there that would be on the harder side of things, but it's
All
not
right.
a by the way kind of thing. Like let us just do good, let us just go out and help someone. It's not a by the way. It is something that is fused and it's merged together into the entire business plans, strategies, and also in their daily operations ongoing basis, right? But whereas a CSR effort is more towards how a company has already into business would like to give back towards communities. Okay, so their main focus is their business operation, and that's vital. But in return, how do we help the communities? And in the past, whenever a CSR activity is taking place, it is normally around the areas of what their business is evolved into. Example, if it's an oil and gas company, because of taking out oil from the earth, you are kind of damaging mother nature. So what happens is their CSR activities would be efforts to help clean the beach, help to take care of the environment. So that has been in the past, but today they go into various areas, including helping the marginalized, providing jobs to at-risk youth towards a special crowd. So that is where it is still a by the way thing because the main focus is their business operations. Okay, it is for profit, and that's one of the one of the focus is many companies still to today do not know how to work together with a social enterprise because a social enterprise is sometimes presumed to be an NGO, which is not, because NGOs are able to raise funds, they are able to attain donations or sponsorships. But whereas social enterprises are a business, and their business activities is supposed to propel them towards running their social cause or championing their social purpose. So that's the difference between a CSR and also a social enterprise.
So
Ahmed, I think
Jerry,
you're muted.
yeah, I'm good. Okay. Now, what I'm hearing is CSR is like giving a part of your business. Sorry, CS. Sorry. What do you call it?
I think you're trying to say that they are basically giving away a portion of their profits in order to support a social agenda, right? So
Okay, yeah,
so
okay, right. Like I
mm,
heard like from my friend, my coach Dave Rogers in our last FB says that there are some businesses whereby the profit that they make is channeled to the blind people in Bali so that they can have cataract operation. So it is imbued in the system. It is part of the system. It's not just like a makeup thingy. You know, what I'm hearing is CSR is a part of the system, whereas social enterprise means it's part of the system, whereas the CSR is just a makeup. It's I mean like I'm not questioning the intention of the people, but it's just like doing something to make you feel good. Is that what I'm hearing, Jerry?
well, I wouldn't want to put it that way because it's not necessarily the case. It is doing their part back for society when the entire focus has been the growth of the business, the shareholders, the customers, and also the people that work with them. So, in that sense, it is not necessary to say it's for them to feel good because it is they playing their part towards healthy society. We social enterprises need that kind of support at times because we are experts in our field of passion or purpose. Example, right, on our side, we provide jobs to the homeless. So, say for example, a corporate that wants to do a CSR initiative, what's going to happen is they might not have the expertise to handle it because it comes with a lot of learning and understanding and even mistakes that are made along the way to help the community. A very good example is during Ramadan, a lot of companies would like to go and feed the homeless, right? But when it's not a coordinated effort, when it's not done on a daily basis, neither do they have a specific team that would know how to handle the situation. That's where collaborations between social enterprises, NGOs will take place or it's better to take place because they would know how to handle that crowd. So in short, when it comes to CSR, because they are very business focused and operational focused, chances are they do not have a specialized team to handle a CSR initiative that they want to embark on. The other thing is, at times, their CSR initiative can change. It could change. Maybe this time it's children, the next time it could be old folks home. So because of things that they want to diversify in helping the community, they might not be a specialist in one. So that is where collaborations take place, because you collaborate with an NGO or a social enterprise because they are familiar with the crowd, they are specialists in the area of their expertise. And we have Anja today. Hello, Anja.
Anja,
Hi.
Anja, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I hope you're not driving.
No. I'm in the
She's got
passenger.
she looks like she's in a limousine.
Yeah. Anja, okay, welcome to the studio, Anja. Anja, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do in 60 seconds.
Okay, my name is Anja Julia Abu Bakar. I run a social enterprise called Atina Empowers, where we empower young girls and women from through the selling of our sanitary product.
Okay, can you tell us what sanitary product do you market?
Okay, our product brand is Atina Empowers. We make sanitary product range like panty liner, sanitary pad. We also produce baby diaper and adult diaper.
Wow, fantastic. Now, diving in straight to you, Anja. Now, who is a social entrepreneur in your own terms? What
Social
is social
entrepreneur
enterprise?
is a social entrepreneur is a person who wants to have a passion to solve a social issue or environment issue using a business as a tool to fund whatever mission that he or she wanted to solve. And a
Okay,
social enterprise for me is an entity, business entity, registered business entity that benefit community or environment.
so it has to benefit the community and environment. It's not profit driven. It's not profit
It's a
centric.
it's profit driven, but the aim is to create an impact by giving back to the society, and you benefit the community or with or environment.
Okay, thank you, Anja. So, Jerison, from the business perspective, is it like
Yes, I'm here.
okay? How does social enterprise raise money and survive while helping others?
Well, I think the first thing which a lot of social enterprises are struggling with is first realizing that it is a business. The business comes first, right? A little bit of alarming statistics, right? 95% of social enterprises close down within the first 18 months. Okay. Second is about 90% make a loss within the first 2 to 3 years. So these are alarming statistics. And the reason is many people have got the passion, but they don't have the business equipment to help the business survive. So that is one of the challenges that they face, is because they are driven by their passion and eventually they are operating like an NGO. So hence, the statistics is not only for Malaysia, which is very close with Malaysia, but worldwide, social enterprises are struggling. And the reason is they are driven by their passion more than the business sense. So how do enterprises mainly supposed to raise their funds? It is through the business activity. So that's one of my advice to most of anyone out there who wants to start a social enterprise. Be good at running a business itself, because a business itself is facing a lot of challenge. I mean, you are going to face challenges. You're going to struggle a bit if you're just running a profit-centric business. Now, yet alone, a business with a social agenda, that is 2 times the challenge, right? So that is why they have to make sure that they have a strong business model first. And it doesn't matter whether they're helping a small crowd at first, but by getting good at business, you are able to replicate your model and eventually help a bigger crowd. So there are incentives and initiatives by the government to help social enterprises. But if you start depending on sponsorships, donations, collaborations, and grants, and then when the grants are not given or the sponsorships does not come in, there's going to be a survivability problem that the social enterprise will face. So what is important is build a business first, and the funds are from the business operations itself.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that the social entrepreneur must be business savvy and not just starting the business with a big heart and starting to give away and not being able to be sustainable in the long run. Is that what I'm hearing from you, Jerry?
Yeah, I don't mind if I just share a little bit of my experience, right? Because many people think that just because they have a social agenda attached to their business, they believe that wow, everyone's going to support us because we have got a social agenda here. The truth is, it's far from that. Because end of the day, like for example, on our side, we sold bottled water and the profits went towards educating children. But end of the day, when we try to approach hotels and some of the big players, they are still looking at price. So you still have to remain competitive, and your margins are a lot lesser because you're giving it away to for a social purpose, right? So at the end of the day, we are competing in the same field with the rest of the guys who are totally profit centric. Now, unless you are in areas where it is energy, solar, renewable energy, then you are just a business that is competing with each other with a social agenda that is saving the environment, right? But some of the biggest challenges is when you focus on some of the SGD goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, when it comes to people, unemployment, education, women empowerment. So those areas are always a challenge when you try to make it into a social enterprise. But some people have done and championed it very well. Anja herself, I'm a big fan of Anja. I've seen some of the amazing work that she's been doing. In fact, she's been doing it for a very, very long time. So she's already an expert in understanding the culture before you can jump in to help anyone. So yeah, so that's where the challenges lie is treating it as a business first to grow and help and replicate it to help a bigger crowd.
So at the end of the day, business is still about competition rather than collaboration, and it depends whether how the other competitor view the product made by the social entrepreneur. Is that what I'm hearing?
Okay, for me, is it? Okay. It depends. If you were to talk to the procurement department, they want the cheapest prices, right? They want to push and drive your prices down. But if you talk to the owner, the shareholders, and if they have a particular passion over the cost that you are doing, for us, when it comes to children, a lot of companies they bypass the procurement department because they understand that is for a specific purpose when it comes to children. So when it comes to social enterprises, if you go through the procurement, it's still price driven and competitive. Competition is there. But if the owners are personally passionate about it, that's where you see the magic happen, and then collaborations would lead towards a bigger impact.
So in other words, it's not all about kesian lah.
It
It's not
hasn't
the
been about
kesian
Christian
factor
for the
lah.
business. Yeah, it's not a Christian factor because you're competing in the same ground. Well, what do you think, Anja? Do you face the same challenges as we do?
Um, Maybe because we didn't approach, like sell our product to companies, because ours are retail, like retail product for consumer. I mean, not like we didn't sell to corporate. I think maybe we didn't have that challenge, and plus we have built our customer base since 2009. So it's like they like they know our product, and we didn't compromise on the quality. That's the reason why I believe why we are still here today, because we never compromise on the quality.
So at the end of the day, social enterprise, like another business, they must be quality centric, and they must be able to
Definitely,
compete with the market, and not just based
definitely.
on like I'm helping the poor, please buy from me. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to business, it's still like you are competing with any other product that sell the similar product like yours. So you cannot simply like using the kesian statement to get buyers to buy. If you go to our website, there's nothing that display that we are something like kesian statement for us to get attention. No, we our website, if you go, same like any other e-commerce website that we actually sell because of the quality of the product. We
I
don't
see,
sell
right.
on our social part.
I see, I see. So, well, it's very interesting to know that, because at least we know that. So basically, what I'm hearing is, if somebody is to support a social enterprise, that means they have a strong buy-in, and not just matter of please help me, please buy from me, kind of thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I'm
that is far from the, yeah. So it even come to a point where at times we believe in empowerment. So Kasian factor should not be the reason for your company or your brand to actually be thrown out there. One of the things is we also at times portray to be a total business, and if they were to ask what or do a bit of research on what we do, chances are they will come to know who we're supporting and where our purpose is, right? But it's come to a point where when we go and have meetings with our clients, we do not mention even some of the social agendas if they buy our product. We just talk about our products, we market it, and once they are interested in doing business with us, we will tell them, by the way, we are supporting the refugee community here and here. We have the school, we are providing jobs to the homeless. So it becomes something like a complementary to the product thereafter, rather than please buy me because I want to support these people. Yeah. And I think that's
Agree,
where the
agree.
empowerment comes in. Yeah.
It's more like we are offering value. It's a value added. It's not like we force you to buy because we are supporting others. It's just like value added. Just by purchase our product, you actually supporting other community. I mean, that's like a value added.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
I'm with you on that, because my personal experience in I don't know what it's called, social enterprise, but in Ampang, where I live, there are a lot of people from Thailand, to southern Thailand. When they're poor, they're old, some are women folk. Actually, they will go usually I meet them at the Petronas station, where they will sell their goods, their food. But the problem is the quality. The food that I buy, I can't really eat, because the crackers are too sweet, and it's more of a quality issue. So I have issues supporting them, because buying the product. So I end up donating, rather than supporting the business as it is, because I don't think it's a sustainable model. No matter what's your thought on it, Jerry and Anja.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Ansha, you want to go first?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree because like what Jason shared earlier, that I mean, in the end, you actually running a business. You need to make profit to sustain. Not only sustain, you need to grow. So you need to have this business acumen skill to grow your business. That's why I mean, when it comes to product, selling product to consumer, we cannot compromise on the quality, and we have to. I mean, make sure that we are competitive enough that consumer has trust with our product. Uh,
Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to add on that. So you always think that, okay, just because there's this person who's selling kueh and she's marginalized, we'll help her and all that. Well, when that happens, it is the empowering factor is not there, other than respecting the fact that she's working to earn a living, right? So in my case, okay, after hitting a certain level in our business, I would not haggle anyone for a discount if it is the person trying to sell to make money and sustain the family. If you go into a street and you see a lot of shops and pasar malam stalls, and then there is a foreign worker running the shop, it belongs to someone else. So if that's the case and you're haggling, it's totally up to you. But for me, when it comes to a person who's doing this for their livelihood, I stop haggling. So what I'm trying to say here is you can start practicing different types of values to become more of a social entrepreneur mindset. Example, whatever business that you're doing currently, if you can merge it with a social agenda, maybe out of your entire task force, you decide to give a job to a person who will not easily get a job anywhere else. Why? Maybe he's got a track record. Maybe he's been to prison before for a petty crime and they got the green stamp on their IC. that makes them so-called be branded as a criminal, even though when they want to start a new life, they're not given a chance. So you can start by doing something on a daily basis and incorporating it into your business. Okay, it could be taking a person from a special crowd. It could be channeling certain amount consistently towards a social cause and then eventually staying with it because you want to be an expert in what you're doing rather than one time you support children, then old folks home, then animals, then all so you're all over the place. Then it becomes like a CSR effort. So what you can do is look at yourself, look at your business, and look at which part can I do it for someone who might not get this opportunity elsewhere, or a person. So in case you see the machi who is selling the one and the food is not good, you can channel her to many companies or groups that could help coach her to start not only by the sidewalk but to start a stall. So there are groups, where they actually pick them up and they give them training, eventually give them a micro loan to start a stall, to start a restaurant. One of the things that we have done is we have started a chain of burger stalls, and also from a burger stall they evolved to becoming having their own restaurant. So you can have to look at yourself is whether this one help I'm doing can go slightly further if I put a little bit of effort into it. So what you can do is don't just do it once, but just help one person, but all the way. It's better to help one person fully than to help 100 people half done. And that is what we have always stood for. Viva Starfish is about helping that one person at a time. It's not about the numbers. Anja knows this very well because when I followed Anja, it was one by one certain Orang Asli communities to where you made the sanitary pads and all. And it was not the numbers. She was never big about, I've helped this much people. It's never about the numbers. It's about helping few people but doing it well.
Anja, what's your take on this? Anja, Anja, can you hear me? Right. Over to you, Jerry. Now, if that being the case, Jerry, like for example, I live in Ampang area. There's a very large community of Rohingya and the Syrians. Okay, and the Syrians will end up starting the kebab business, and the Rohingyas mostly the attitude is that they will go and pick up stuff from unwanted stuff from houses, housing estate, and some would resort to begging. How can we help this kind of community?
I think on your side, if you are giving me that scenario, for me it's very simple. Find out which are the bodies that are already existing. Now, if you try to do it on your own, you might not understand the culture. You're not a specialist in that area, right? So what you can do is, if you go to UNHCR, there's many groups and NGOs and social enterprises that are already helping the refugees, right? So when you get in touch with those groups and tell them, hey, there's a huge community of refugees here, Syrians, Rohingyas, and all. Uh, how can I channel them towards y'all so that y'all can look into helping them? Because if you try to do it yourself, do you have a team? Are you able to get them the right help? Are you creating a new problem if you go into this, right? So when it comes to, like I said, Ramadan month, when everyone decides to feed the homeless, you're creating a huge problem of extra food wastage, and then a huge housekeeping issue thereafter. Next, when they start giving money to the children in the streets, it becomes like a fiasco of children running after cars, and you're creating another hazard for the children. So you need to know whether it's in your area of comfort. So what you can do is experience what other groups are doing for the community, and then when you feel that you're confident enough and you have a team to do it, then you can go and pursue and help them in your own way, based on your own capacity. But always get the specialists and the various groups out there, support them. You as an individual should support them to help them. That's my advice.
So basically, those who are actually begging in the streets or on their own, are they actually a splinter group? Those who
Or
decide
if there,
to go on their own?
you never know. You never know, because there's also scammers out there. There's also beggars, genuine cases. So there's so many, and you're not sure. But the people who serve on the streets, They know, they are very familiar. One of the things Viva Starfish always works with is we don't go and do random help. We have got community representative in the PPR who knows exactly the families and who are dire needing cases. It is not like we come up with food, go to a PPR community, and then the whole community will come, and even those who can afford will also start grabbing your food. We have got a community representative who is familiar with the community. So we work with the strength that we have and the resources that we have with the community.
So what I'm hearing is work with people who understand the community rather than just coming in and doing the one-off.
Yes, and doing your own thing because it could seriously go wrong.
Okay, right. So, Anja, can you please tell me, Anja, share with us how do government support social enterprise in Malaysia from your experience?
Okay, we are actually lucky that our government really support the social enterprises in Malaysia. Because in 2014 they have introduced the social enterprise blueprint, and 2018 they have 2017 introduced the impact driven accreditation, and 2019 introduced the social enterprise accreditation. And this is to I mean, by giving this accreditation, they want to to ensure that we have a genuine social enterprises in Malaysia, and where they can also help us in promoting um, to corporate, or to corporate, or to even other government agencies. And they are also introduced social procurement, where they encourage other agencies and corporate to purchase from social enterprise. For example, if you are planning to order for catering, for food catering, you can go and find who are the social enterprises that actually offer catering services. We have Masalawil, we have Derisha, we have Picha Eat, and so many that already accredited. That's how government support. And like last year, when for 2020 onwards, they offer the tax exemption to corporate that support these social enterprises by giving them 10% tax exempt if they do work with a social enterprise. Yeah, that's how we have this privilege to have support from government.
Is it for Malaysians only or open?
For social enterprise in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, in Malaysia, helping the does it include refugees or just Malaysian?
No, Picture It, they support refugee. So as long as you are registered in Malaysia, and you, fulfill either one of the four criteria to become a social enterprise, so you are also part of it,
Wow,
regardless you
fantastic.
support refugee or non-refugee.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Anja. Now, Jerry, now I have a question for you, Jerry. Now, tell me, what are the challenges in running a social enterprise?
I think one of the challenges is, first of all, you're running a business. And then next, you're running a business with a social agenda. So it's two times the headache. Okay. So it depends. If you are running, and I've noticed this, okay, based on all the mentoring that I do so one of the things that I do is I do a lot of mentoring for youths who suddenly have this passion to open a social enterprise, and they are really gun ho about it, right? One of the challenges I always see is uh, they do not know how to work with corporates, and some corporates do not know how to work with a social enterprise. The reason is because the social enterprise has got a Sendirian Berhad at the back of it, and they always say that, oh, you know what, can you form a persatuan or can you form an NGO because we are unable to provide a sponsorship if you're a social enterprise. Okay, so that's one of the challenges. The other challenge is running a business, right? You have challenges running a business, and here you have a social concern. And whenever it comes to do with certain hardcore stuff, example, trying to help ex-cons, trying to help ex-addicts, trying to help the orang asli community, there's a lot of challenges that eventually, if you thrive in that area, it leads to another problem. Example, when you are able, and we kind of faced this one time back in 2014, whereby We set up a farm for the orang asli, and it was thriving. But once the business thrives, there's always this feedback on, oh, are you all exploiting? So you got to be very careful with that, because when you are running on the basis that you are a social enterprise helping orang asli, and suddenly the business hits a different level of success, it goes into someone just mentioning that it's exploitation. So that is where a social enterprise has to graduate, keep the social agenda separate and the business separate. So there will be a point in time where, in case you experience a certain one, especially in certain areas, I'm not saying this for everyone, but in certain areas, and I've seen this happen at the international level. When we went to conferences at the international level, many of them, when they hit a certain level of success, it became very messy to the point that they had to stop going with a social enterprise model, but going into a business model. And the social enterprise was an ongoing, below the radar, on autopilot. And it still worked. It helped the community, and at the same time, the business grew. So you have to know when to play that balance, because it can be a double-edged sword at times.
So I'm hearing that it's very easy to be misconstrued.
Yes, if you are very successful, then it could go wrong, and that's based on some of the experience and the close friends that I have faced.
So basically, if you're successful, there'll be a lot of people bitching about you.
Well, I won't say about that, but I would say there are some people who are, they query what you do. Okay, so I want to make sure that this message goes out to anybody who's aspiring to be a social enterprise. You must know that there is this 2-6-2 rule: 20%, 60%, 20%.
And
There
what's
is this
that?
20%. Okay, the 20%, that no matter how well you do, no matter how good your intentions are, you cannot convince them about how good you are. Okay, they are always there, they are always going to be talking bad about you, they've always have this negative perception about social work and all that. And those are the people that's not going to help you in your business, but they seem to make a lot of noise, so you tend to address that issue. So your time, energy, resources will be spent trying to convince them, and they will never be convinced. Then comes the other end, another 20%, who are your
Chop, chop,
biggest
chop.
fans.
Chop. Ni Jerry. So this 20% I call the black hats.
No matter what you do, it'll happen.
No,
I'll give you an
these
example.
are the iron ears,
Yeah, look at it this way. When I was in
the
college, right,
mosquitoes.
or school,
No,
yeah,
are they the
when I was in
mosquitoes?
school,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't know what the mosquito means, but I would say that no matter what you do, they are never convinced with your intentions. So don't waste your time.
Oh,
But
you're
there's
never
always
good
this
enough lah.
other end. Yeah, there's this other
You're never good
20%.
enough. Con job, con
Yeah,
man, kind of thing lah.
yeah, they'll always say that, right? But it's another 20% that they believe in what you do. No matter what, they are your biggest fans. They'll always motivate you and propel you to go forward and to persevere. Okay? And then comes the 60% in the middle, they're on the fence. You know, they hear good stuff, they hear bad stuff, they're on the fence, right? And many times people focus on the below 20%, your mosquitoes, right? But the wrong thing to do is also to focus on your 60%, because that's a bigger crowd, a lot more resources, money, and effort. What you need to be doing is, you have 20% who's already your fan. It's very minimal effort to keep them happy, because they're already supportive in everything that you do. Get them to influence the 60%, and don't waste your time with the below 20%. And that's something that social enterprises have to be very ready, because it does happen, especially when you hit a certain level of success.
Wow, very. I like the way you look at it. Where do you get these figures, Jerry?
It's actually based on a Placeto theory. If you were to Google up Placeto, P-L-A-C-T-O, it's quite there. But I like to say that I would like to say that I came up with it, but I didn't come up with it. But it is a known theory.
No, I think you should come up with a theory because I've heard about Pareto law, 80-20. So I'm more interested to know about Jerry's theory.
Yeah, I believe in the 262.
262, yeah?
Yeah, 20%, 60%, 20%.
How about 2611? 225, whatever. Make it up, Jerry. Make it up. Anja, what's your figure like?
Sorry.
Huh? Anja, what's your figure like, Anja?
No lah, I mean, I agree with Jerison. no matter what you do, don't listen to that 20.
Okay, so
Don't
what's
don't
your
They
do
always
figure?
what.
there. They all.
Anja, wait, sorry.
Yeah,
What's your figure like? Do you subscribe to Jerry 20, 60, 20, or you have other
I don't
figure?
have fear, but I just don't listen to this mosquito.
Okay, because they say how the theory goes. There are people who just like to complain, but they don't contribute. So these are the mosquito. Wait, let me try to get that. There are people who likes to complain, but they don't contribute. So I call them the mosquito. There are people who like to complain and they contribute. These I call the lovers, right? There are other people who don't complain and but they contribute a lot. This one I call sweet potato. You just see the small tree up, but underground is massive, But there are people who don't complain and they don't contribute. This one I call the passenger or the cheater in the society. So that's my what the way I look at things. Now, um, Anja, now what's your advice to those who wish to start a social enterprise, Anja?
For me, if you are young, I know you have all the energy to start something, but go and get experience. Uh, like approach any senior social enterprise or work with established NGO just to know how the real work when you go work with the grassroots. Get some experience. And if you decided to straight away do business, don't forget to get mentors, whether social entrepreneurs or any business owners that subject matter expert or industry expert. If you are to run F&B business, get mentor for those that run F&B business. Avoid spending so much money with all these expensive coaches. You can do that, but do it later. At the early stage, go get mentor and especially those industry expert. Uh, that's my advice. Go and get mentor.
So basically, we what I'm hearing is we are looking into how we would be able to minimize being con or
Uh,
being
spend. For me, if you want to fail, fail fast and move on.
or like just like my daughter Amira told me, go hard and go dumb. Okay, want to play big. Okay, right. Now Anja, how is SE different from NGO then?
Definitely different because NGO they are social 100% social social mission, but the only difference is that they don't have business model. But nowadays, we've seen many NGOs that have become social business, whereby they use a business model to make income to become financial sustainability, not relying on donation or charity. But social enterprise is actually a hybrid model where you combine those social mission with a business model. So that's why it is different. NGO have no business model, and in order for them to run a project, they need to rely on donation or charity.
Oh, okay, right. And now I understand it better. So, okay, so is there any question like to put across? Jerry to Anja, Jerry to Amir, Anja to Amir. Any question like to address?
Maybe to Anja
No,
probably. Yeah, I got something to
I
Anja
don't.
actually. So
Oh,
Anja, what is your next big hairy audacious goal? Like what is your next target? Because we're a big fan of what you do, and we want to know how we can support in any way.
okay. We when we started, we are focusing on empowering young girls with our menstrual hygiene management program. And then 2017, we have scaled up our impact by doing women economic empowerment. But towards the quarter 4 2020, we're going to start empowering community where we will build our first six social factory where we get either orang asli or rural community in Sabah and Sarawak to run their own to run our social factory, whereby they will make them. It's a totally new product, and we will buy we will buy back all the product that they make. So we will train all these six villages that we have identified, and train with the all the Q and quality. Everything that for them before they run the factory, which will run by the community. Yeah, so that's our next in by quarter 4.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Now, just out of curiosity, is actually social enterprising? Are you doing actually what the government is failing to do, or actually you're supporting the government in the effort
We are actually
to?
supporting the government.
So you're actually working
Yeah,
shoulder and
and
shoulder and not pointing fingers. Is that what I'm looking
Uh,
at?
I,
no, no,
I think
okay.
it depends. You know, yeah, you
Yeah.
always wanna, yeah, because end of the day, the government has done a lot. It's just that, you know, what do you read in the newspapers is sometimes, and you hear a lot of noise. But the truth is, the government is doing a lot. Now, on our side, it's not about pointing figures whether the government is helping them or not helping them, because we are here as, you know, because we have the energy and we have the expertise and the brains to also, you know, champion something. So we work in collaboration. But I would say the government is also playing their part, and they have been supporting the communities as much as we can be extra hands, and you know, collaboration will always be a lot better.
So basically, what I'm hearing is there's a lot of room for improvement, right, Jerry?
there is there is always room for improvement. I won't say it's a perfect world out there, but I think it's not about us depending on the government to do something, but it's what we can do for Malaysia, for the communities. So if
True.
we want to help someone, you know, we are able-bodied people. So it's not necessary for us to even depend on the government. It's what we want to do, and if the moment the passion drives in, the energy comes in, and you take action, there's a lot of genuine Malaysians who are very generous who comes in and joins in, and from there we can achieve our goals. So it's not a dependency model for social enterprise. It is an empowering model because you, at the end of the day, you don't need actually any funds or grants to propel yourself if you are able to build a solid business to help the community.
Yep,
Wow,
totally
fantastic.
agree. Mm.
Okay, so basically, in social enterprise, I think what's important, what I feel is that clarity of intention, business strategy, and getting the right mentor to move up. Now, if you're both of you are time traveler, okay, you're a time traveler, 5 years from now, how do you think the scenario in Malaysia would develop, would blossom to? Jerry,
Okay.
Now, let
oh,
Anja go first. Let Anja go first. Yeah.
ladies first. Okay,
Okay.
Anja.
Okay. Because I've been like visited countries like Sweden, like Scandinavian countries, where I am really inspired to see uh tech based tech businesses or even tech startup. They are 100% social enterprise where because they feel that they are so privileged by to be like born and live in like this Scandinavian country, very rich country, and they have this responsible to help those from the third world country, poor countries, and I am so inspired to see them young, running a successful tech businesses, but um, run as a social enterprise using a social enterprise model. So I think 5 years from now, because of the technology, we're gonna see that we are almost there. Like whereby corporates now or even SMEs will become more socially conscious, whereby NGO will be more impact driven rather than kasihan driven. Whereby they clear about the outcome of the activity that they want to do. So maybe in 5 or even 10 years from now, we don't have to really talk about so much on about social enterprise because they are already conscious. They are already alert of they are responsible with the community or even environment.
Oh, fantastic. Sweden, yeah. Jerry?
Well, on my side, what I wish I could see 5 years from now is back to the basics. Okay, Viva Starfish has always been about
Jerry, I think you're lagging a bit, but it's okay.
So if right, so can you imagine that there's, let's say 20,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
Jerry's
sorry, the
off.
line dropped. Yeah,
It's okay, don't
at
worry.
which point did, yeah, at which point did I was the last thing you heard?
No, I
So
think you
for
better
me,
start all over again.
okay, so basically it's like this. The population of Malaysia is about 32 million. Now 20% are middle class and above. So let's look at 6 million Malaysians who are okay. And if they decide to help one person, they don't have to help the whole world, they just have to help one person. For the first time in Malaysia, 6 million people from the marginalized communities are being helped. You will see a decline in that rate. So all you have to do is back to basics. Everyone just have one person go all out and do it correctly, right? And that is something that I would like to say because during the MCO, for a change, when we were unable to move around, we saw a lot of empowerment by the marginalized because they can't depend on the NGOs to come and help them. Everyone else was, told to stay at home. So the survivability kicked in, and that's where you see how they have to now be resourceful themselves. So they are capable. It's not necessary that we have to be around to make them capable, but sometimes they just need a good push and a good head start. And that's where we provide the support. So 5 years from now, I would like to see if everyone just champion one person, you'll see a reduce in marginalized communities in Malaysia. And that's what I hope to see.
How much you looking at, Jerry, for to champion one person?
Well, it depends because you don't have to even take out money at times. If you are just taking in a person, mentoring him, motivating him, guiding him to start a simple business that he can look at livelihood for himself, that's good enough. So basically, you don't need money as long as you have the time, the effort, and the energy, and you gain a lot of experience watching how others have been doing it, and then think about how can you do it better.
Jerry, you make it sound like direct selling, Jerry. So
Yeah.
should all the direct seller people, those who are doing direct selling, adopt someone from marginalized community and teach them to do direct selling?
Mm,
Is direct
it
selling a
I
good
don't think.
depends.
vehicle? Is direct selling a good
Yeah,
vehicle?
If they don't
yeah,
manipulate,
yeah. So look, when it comes to direct selling, I know people who are extremely successful at direct selling, and I know people who've not made it in direct selling. So it's all up to the individual. So I can't tell that whether it's a good thing for them to do or not. But what you need to do is when you're helping someone, mentor the person all out so that you see him become independent. And
Okay,
don't
right.
create dependency. Don't ever create dependency.
Okay, so what I'm
agree,
hearing is
agree.
that if I'm living in Ampang and I see somebody like a PPR, somebody Ampang Hile, so I would go to a family, see how I can assist, but from there start to mentor them. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but they also get in touch with the local person who has been helping them for years. Support him, and he will support them. So if
Oh,
you just go and randomly choose a family, how do you know that they are struggling in which way? How do you even identify a family? There's always someone who's championing in a genuine manner. Go and support him to support them, and eventually help him get better because then you'll be able to help them better.
so basically, don't be a rainbow, but become Avenger. Avenger is a team. Rainbow is a one-man show.
Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, okay. I'm cool. I'm hearing that. Okay. Now, Jerison, any question for me?
Yeah, so Amir, what area in your line of work, especially the legal line, do you think that you could champion and kind of mold your business towards being a social entrepreneur?
Okay, this is one way of me contributing to society. I do my FB live show whereby I actually contribute my expertise to the public in general. So my gift is a gift of knowledge. Yep. Because lawyers generally we charge about 1,000 per hour. I mean, as a senior lawyer like myself. So basically, if I put in a night about a night like this, about 1.5 hours or 1 hour, it's actually I'm putting in 1,000 back to the community. So, but my gift basically is a gift of knowledge. That's how I have one area that I can work into. And number two is I'm okay with doing classes for those who actually who like to have an idea about issues in their personal law, for example, like divorce or estate distribution. So yeah, that's one area that I would like to work with. But my ideal is to work with a couple of professionals to come into villages, small or remote villages, and help them, like what you're doing, Jerry, with the orang asli. So to be able to help them, to empower them to become a more self-reliant community.
Yeah, good, good. So persevere through, and see that come true.
No, it's all in the pipeline actually. Still not there yet, but I'm starting with the gift of knowledge.
Okay.
Right, Anja, any question for me, Anja?
Sorry, I mean similar to what Jerison asked. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
no,
right.
no question from me.
Okay, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show today. And before we end, Jerry, 60 seconds from you. What's your advice to the public at large on social enterprise?
I think Anja summarized one part very well, regarding how do you start a social enterprise. And I think that would be my summary. Maybe just if simplified is go and experience stuff. Anja said that, go and experience stuff, because you don't know how to help someone unless you experience it. Experience it with other groups who are already doing it. Once you are experiencing it, see what you can do better. And then when you do decide that, maybe I can do it on my own, share it with that group and see whether they adopt it. If they don't adopt it because they might be a stickler to their old ways of how to do things, that's when you get a mentor to guide you towards starting something. And eventually, I would like to see that, find a spot in your own business or your own career, merge it with your social agenda, and persevere through. I think that's my 60 seconds of sum up.
Well, I can put it in one word, Jerry. It's called Kaizen, the
Yeah, I'm
tradition
familiar
of
with Kaizen.
improvising.
Yeah.
Yep, you're a Kaizen guy. Um, Anja, 60 seconds from you.
Alamak. Uh, for me, if I'm like a public, public lah. I mean, as a someone that not in the business, or I mean, if I see something, if I think it's nice, you can compliment them. If you felt that you don't agree and you have nothing nice to say, so just keep quiet. Sorry,
Bite
I'm
your
not
tongue before
prepared.
it's beaten. Okay, I'm cool with that, Anja. Very, very good. And thank you. And for me, my 60 second would be this. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any better if you take a look at yourself and make that change. Okay, so spare the change, make the change, and change for the better. I'm Sheku Wasia. I would like to thank all of our guests tonight. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jerry and Anja.
Thank you,
And
Amir.
and may you have a blessed
Well,
life. I know Jerry, Anja. When you die, a lot of people will pray for you. That I'm confirmed. Myself, not sure yet.
we don't want to. I don't want to die.
Very
No, you will die,
advanced lah.
Jerry.
Very
Jerry,
advanced.
it's part of life, Jerry. But I'm sure when Jerry
Oh
dies,
man.
the whole church penuh with people.
But-
Way advanced.
Because you touch one soul at a time, like the starfish.
yeah, one soul at a time. Yes.
So
Thank you, brother. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Have a blessed evening and thank you.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Good night, Jerry. Thank you.
Good night, Anja. Nice seeing you again.
Yeah.